If you without sin, cast the first stone. So, what I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking about the tweets, old tweets of Jacinda Ngobese Zuma. So, because I am struggling with my throat, guys, I have these Vicks Actor Plus extra strong wet plus dry cough syrup. It's got this red and green. I guess the green relieves wet coughs and the red one relieves dry cough. So let's see if it's going to do any trick while we are talking about this. Listen, I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I'm about to say in this video because listen, like Batabile Dlamini Zuma once said, all of us have smaller skeletons in our closets. And once upon a time, you and I used to be young and stupid. Again, this is not an excuse. And I'm going to give you an example about how when I used to sit as a panelist of interviewers of young people when they apply for jobs, and I so happened to be chosen to be one of the panelists. Okay, wish me luck so that whatever it's here. Before you come for me, I live alone. I do things by myself, so it's my germs. Did I overdose? Guys, I don't know how to take these things, okay? Just leave me alone, okay? So the point that I'm trying to make is we'll have young people come in, they will submit their CVs, and then we sift through the best or what we think will be the best candidates. Then we call them for interviews, and then these poor little things, they come looking all nervous and hopeful, and then we ask them questions. I used to be responsible for digital footprint. So you would apply, and then we look at your CV, we look at your performance report, and we even go as I used to go as far back as what sort of a pupil were you in primary school? What sort of a pupil were you in high school? And if you got any testimonials by your teachers and principal, because at the end of the day, we want people who are going to represent the company or the firm, especially to become ambassadors of the firm, right? So that's what I would do, and then I will go to your digital footprint because that is one of the secret ingredients we do in the background. And of course, we would find things. We would find a lot of things because the digital space, especially social media, has created what you would call stupidity because of being young. Stupidity because you thought you were never ever going to be held accountable for your stupidity at that point at a later stage. That is why there are sayings or idioms such as the chickens have come home to roost. The skeletons or the ghost has come to haunt. It's for a reason. What you do in your past life, at some point in your life, it's going to catch up with you because you thought, well, I am private and incognito. Nobody will know. Really? I don't know if you were listening to Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi at the Error Committee, where he said, you delete, we retrieve. I've known this all along. All along I've known it, that there's no such a thing as deleting a post. There's no such a thing as deleting a social media account. It's there and it's there forever. And now with apps, what sort of a person you used to be 10 years ago? Because again, an idiom, a leopard never changes its spot type of situation. However, there is repentance. There's growth. I think there's a scripture in the Bible. When I was a boy, I used to do Oh no, when I was a child, I did childish things. And now that I'm grown, I left the childish things and started doing things of maturity. Okay? It's important that in as much as we hold people accountable, we must also acknowledge that a person does grow. And as they grow, they acknowledge the damage that they may have caused in the past rather than denying the past or giving in excuses. That is why I'm not giving any excuse to those old tweets. Is Jacinta supposed to be held accountable for that? Yes, she should be held accountable for that. But the problem I'm having with this is that Jacinta Ngobese Zuma has come out to be a South African that has come out guns blazing with patriotism. She is not sitting well with some sector of our population. And of course, this sector are people that are illegally in South Africa. I don't know why they never hear the part illegally. Is there something wrong? Does the ears close when you hear the word illegally? Because for some reason, people that actually are fighting the likes of Jacinta, they hear Africans. And yet South Africa is a sovereignty with the rule of law. Just like where they come from, whatever country, oh, my throat feels better. Oh, this thing works, guys. I haven't felt any strains. I'm going to be buying you a lot. Sorry. So, where they come from, their countries are a sovereignty with the rule of law. Like, I cannot, and I challenge you to do it, walk into Zimbabwe without a passport. Go to Nigeria. In fact, you won't even reach Nigeria because you'll be stopped at OR Tambo International Airport. So let's go with the porous border ones and come back and tell me, how did it go when you got caught? How did it go? So why should it be an exception to the rule? And the other part that I'll never understand about this, we are Africans. Why must it happen here in South Africa? Why can't it happen in your country? Why don't you create a conducive environment for South Africans to come to your country and say, there's nobody illegal here? Why don't you do that? Okay, I digress. So you can tell that these tweets are not brought to the fore in good faith. These tweets are brought to the fore to shut her up. And you can tell also that these tweets were exposed with the aim that they divide and conquer. Because yes, she said things about even some South Africans, our own, and she said things about whatever it is that she had said in her tweets. You can tell that all of this is curated for her to shut up. When she shuts up, the whole illegal thing that we are talking about will also die down. Listen, there are lots of Jacinta Ngobeses out there, and you can go digging into our background. It's not going to stop the fact that you are illegally in South Africa. It's not going to stop that Jacinta Ngobese Zuma and probably thousands of others are South African citizens. South Africans, as a family, we will go to Jacinta and say, Sisi, what you did there was not good. We can chastise her. And she can make an apology to South Africans that her tweets hurt. When you are a criminal. You breaking the laws of the country by being here illegally. And on top of that, you think you got the gumption to go and pull out old tweets, and then you weaponize these tweets to try and divide South Africans. You are evil. You are so evil. And that is why your country is the way it is, because God will never live in a country of evil people. Self-centered, self-worshipping, and selfish. people that are individualistic instead of a community, things that we have built for ourselves here. This, what had happened, or what these tweets have done, nah, I'm telling you, it's just a storm in a teacup. It's a storm in a teacup. This will not shut Jacinda Ngobese Zuma. She will continue to get respect. She will continue to get support. And I'm telling you right now, South Africans are talking amongst each other to say, hey, listen, we all make mistakes. Nobody can claim not to have sinned, because if they have not, then they have the right to cast the first stone at Jacinta. We all have smallanyana skeletons in our closets. We all do. Every one of us. And in most cases, it is our social media footprint that shows it that, yeah, when you were young, you were quite dumb. Yeah, I've said some dumb things as well on social media before. Oh, yeah, I have. You can go dig them all out. I will take accountability and I will say, yeah, I said that. Why did I say it? If I still remember the context, then I'll explain it, not to make an excuse, but to take you into my mind at that time, what I was thinking about, or what my ignorance at that time was saying. And I'll take accountability for it. I will. But does that make me less of a South African and that I want illegal people out of my country? Because when you are illegally here, you are posing a threat to me. You are posing a threat to the national security of this country. It doesn't change that, and it will never will until you go back home. Equip yourself with a rare skill that South Africa does not have, and you will be let in so that we can utilize that scarce skill. So that's not going to change anything. It's not going to change. And those Abasinabai Betela South Africans, it goes to show that if we actually had to dig into your background, what skeletons are we going to find? Will you be able to withstand the backlash? Who knows? Maybe you've committed crimes before. Is that what you want South Africans to do? To go checking into your background? Because Untalkam Kwanas Uyeza, and he's coming with guns blazing from what I have heard him say. So is that what you want? Because if that's what you want, say it. If you do not have skeletons in your closet, say it. Dare us. And you know South Africans are good at digging. Say it. I dare you to dig, but this, and that about Jacinta. I dare you. But the rest, of course, what's the point of daring them? They're already criminals. They're here illegally in the country. When we speak of illegality, we're not including our fellow Africans that are in South Africa legally. They are here with good standing papers. We're not talking about those. They're welcome. Hey, you are welcome. But be careful. Be careful that when your time in South Africa is about to expire, go back home. Go back home and renew. There was also another question that was asked of me. My goodness gracious me. Thank you. If it's a cough season that has begun, guys, and this is not sponsored. This is not sponsored. This is me plugging you now. Wow. Vicks Actor Plus Extra Strong Wet and Dry Cough Mixture. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Where have you been? Okay. So there was a video of, I think it's Victoria, her name, and a crew somewhere in South Africa that came across a Ghanaian with very questionable papers. It shows that he left Ghana to South Africa on the 10th of April. Something like that. And returned on the 10th of April still. I mean, a flight from South Africa to Ghana, it's plus or minus 8 hours to 9 hours. So there's no way that you would have flown and came back the same day. Because if you look at the flight from Ghana to South Africa, the times are very skewed. There's a flight that you have to take at 1 in the morning that's going, I think it's Rwandan Air, that's going to go to Kigali, and you're going to have a layover 4 hours or something like that. And then it comes to South Africa. So all in all, you would have traveled somewhere around 12 hours. And then to go back, that's another 12 hours. So there's no way that it just doesn't make sense. And then there was this hullabaloo Nigerians blowing this out of proportion. They say, you see, we told you South Africans don't like Africans, including Ghanaians. They always miss the point. The Ghanaian was illegally in South Africa. By the way, he did make a video sometime later where he apologized for what he has done. And secondly, he called on fellow Ghanaians that are illegally in South Africa to go back home. Something that a Nigerian will never do. Something that they will never do. And then you look at Ghanaian content creators. Ghanaian content creators were not angry at South Africans. They understood that their fellow Ghanaian was on the wrong side of the law in South Africa. And they were asking South Africans to deport him back to Ghana. Something that Nigerians will never do, except for Lily Ogini. Except her. But all the other ones, except also Henry Talks. Henry Talks will never support that. So, and I'm saying that he will call out an illegal Nigerian in South Africa. He'll say, go back home. That's what he would say. So it's few that will say, yeah, it's a right thing what South Africa did. So them trying to cause a rift, I'm talking about those Nigerians, they're trying to cause a rift between South Africans and Ghanaians. That's not going to work. Ghana is our brother. You see, when we talk of African brothers and sisters, we're talking about Ghana. Mm-hmm. That bond, you can never separate it. Just like the bond we have with Kenyans. Those are our siblings. You can never come between a South African and a Kenyan. Just like you can never come between a Mtswana from Botswana and South Africans, Namibian and South Africans, as well as which other country that is quite friendly with us on the African continent that we get along with. Which one is it? You can never come between us, guys. You, especially with Ghanaians, forget it. Forget it, because the problem that you are going to face is love. How do you dim South African love with Ghanaians and Ghanaians' love for South Africans? How do you dim that? Remember, love conquers all. So the Ghanaian gentleman, he felt bad. He was remorseful. He really was remorseful. And South Africans were like, okay, cool. Don't do it again. Go home. You are welcome to South Africa, by the way. Ghanaians are welcome to South Africa. They don't give us problems. They are not on our throats. They don't mock us. They don't provoke us. They mind their own business. They are just sweethearts. Yes, they are. So that was a miss on Nigerians' part. You guys are evil. Honestly speaking, for the most religious people, for religious people like yourselves, y'all are evil, shame. Yes, not all of you. Not all of you. Because I know there are good Nigerians. I know there are good Nigerians. Henry Talks, Lily Ogini, some content creators in Nigeria. Good people. But what is wrong with the rest of y'all? Honestly speaking. And then let's talk about something that also made me laugh. Dada Moraro. Dada Moraro, he posts this.
Do you have papers? Eh? You guys have papers?
Why your passport?
Your papers. JMPD, do you have immigration? JMPD, but don't run, my guy. Hey, my guy, don't run. Go back. Hey, don't run. You see, a JMPD. JMPD, he was trying to run from Ewe. Where are you running? Ewe?
No.
So you,
This one is ugly. No. Get that one.
where are the other two guys? The other one jumped.
No, the other one went to the other side. This one is
Jumped.
Good. Actually, no. What is it?
Eh? You want to do what?
Let's get inside. What is it?
Yeah, my mom. Hello.
What are you doing here?
Hey.
I don't know.
Open here.
I don't know.
You don't stay here. What is happening here?
Some guy is. See,
Yeah?
Where?
check.
What's happening here?
What's happening there?
Where are people who are staying here? Who's staying here? Are there people here? Yeah. There are people who die here.
Die away.
Inside here. Like the stuff is on or something. Hey, so.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
You don't know everything.
I don't know everything.
What do you know?
I don't know everything.
You don't
What do you
everything,
know?
what?
What do you know?
Hey, what do you know?
Hey, Baba.
What do you know? Where's your papers? Where are your papers? Where's your passport?
And where are the
Where
rest
is
of
your
the guys?
passport?
Where are the
Come
rest
out.
of your guys?
Where's your passport?
Come out.
Eh?
Ask this other one.
Kieno, where's your passport?
Okay, I've seen enough. I've seen enough. Listen, I appreciate what this is about. This is something that South Africans have been crying about for the longest time. But we've been ignored by the very same mayor. Hey, listen, what are you doing about illegal foreigners in Johannesburg? They are destroying the city. Literally destroying the city. They even have little this and little that. Little Mogadishu, little Lagos, little Maputo, little... And it's no go zone for South Africans in those areas. We are terrified in our own city. In our own city. The city is rotten, is falling apart right before everyone's eyes. Why? Because when you buy a house, you take care of that house. It's your house. You make sure that nothing happens to the house. It looks spick and span. The paint is nice and fresh, and the yard is always nice and trimmed and well protected. But if you rent out that house to somebody who has no sentimental value and attachment to it, they will run it down. They will run it down. It's like when next door people are grieving of a loss. You, on this side of the neighborhood, you don't feel the pain that that house is feeling until a loved one inside your own house is lost. Then you will feel the pain of your neighbor when they lost their loved one. Why don't anybody get that, especially Dada Muraro? You can tell that he is working on a talking point of people in Gauteng, and he wants votes. This is the same mayor, when he started his mayoral journey or career, he said he asked himself, why don't we hire foreign nationals into the JMPD? We jumped him on social media. And suddenly now this is what he's doing. And yet his political party is like, no, don't do this. How does Ramaphosa feel about you doing this campaign, sir? Do you think Ramaphosa approves of what you are doing? Touching illegal foreigners, because that's what he said in Parliament. Don't touch them. But here you are touching them. I'm sorry, I'm not convinced by Dada Muraro or the ANC in Johannesburg trying to clean our streets. And secondly, as long as these people that you are now deporting are not Nigerians. I will never. In fact, whatever campaign that the government is on, whether it's Home Affairs or it is the city in Johannesburg or any other city for that matter, as long as Air Peace, that's a Nigerian airline, is not filled with Nigerians back to Nigeria, I can never take your deportation seriously. As a matter of fact, what are the chances that while the camera is rolling and then these illegal foreigners are getting caught to be deported, the moment they take a corner, they open the JMPD van and say, okay, you can go. We got what we wanted out of you for votes. I'm sorry. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all. I'm not convinced. This is electioneering. This is electioneering, and you've missed the mark, Mr. Dada Moraro. Try something else. This one, leave it to Action SA. This one. Yeah, leave it to Action SA. At least we could be convinced that actually they mean something. But as long as Nigerians are not in the back of that yellow and white van and they are driven to OR Tambo International Airport and Air Peace or even South African airline is fired up and then they get deported, I'm sorry. We are being made fools of. And I refuse to be made a fool of. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. I don't know. What are your thoughts? But guys, if you have flu, again, this is not sponsored. Maybe I should just take the package. This is not sponsored. I'm just impressed with what it has done. Right? I don't know if you can see. Let me just put it beyond the... This is what I am drinking and I feel a little better. Okay, anyways, those are my thoughts that you've asked about. And as for Jacinta Ngobese Zuma, CC, we all make mistakes. Everybody, from a young age, we all make mistakes. And as a panelist in the interviews, I always convinced my fellow panelists, like, listen, if you look at the time or the time frame of this tweet or this Facebook post, they were young. Remember us when we used to be young? Yeah, we were quite stupid. So we must give people a chance. And we must also, as we give them a chance, they let known that they're going to be watched like a hawk. Because at the end of the day, we have a reputation to preserve. We also want to grow. And the last thing we want is a ticking time bomb working in our firm. So you just have to, draw the line. So Jacinta Ngobese, she's now an adult. She left stuff of elementary and transitioned to maturity. All of us do that. So if you have no skeletons in your closet, cast the first stone. You are the only person who knows the truth. And if you do cast a stone because you feel like you don't have a skeleton, guess who's dishonest? It's you. Anyways, I still support Jacinta Ngobese Zuma. I support Phakelo Mthakathi. I support Ngizwe Mchunu. I support Amandla Nzo. I support the lady in Cape Town. I forgot her name. I support her. I support any South African that is putting South Africans first and demanding that South Africans be put first. Any South African, for that matter, that wants us to be put first, I support you, irrespective of what past you have. I don't care what past you had. The rest, they are just lying and evil. Evil souls. Other than that, I'll leave this video here. Please enjoy your Friday. Have a wonderful Friday, guys. Take care of yourselves. Uyeza uNhlanhla Mkhwanazi. Those of you who know you've done something, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi said something. He said, give them something. You know what that means? when Tlatlam Kwanesi said that if you are involved and you living a certain lifestyle that you cannot explain, come forward, give him something. This new task team. You know what he's inviting you to do? He's inviting you to give them information so that you stay out of jail. So if you are going to uqinisa umtsintsila, because that's a South African thing, and I always talk about it, especially around December. People get into vehicles drunk because they think it's not going to happen to them. So don't think it's not going to happen to you. Ungazisoli usebhush. Anyways, I will leave the video here. that was for my mom. Goodbye, guys. I'll see you. Bye.